Jamal Niaz here with Jason Knight after a very heated face-off with Makwan Amirkhani. Talk us through that.
Man, you know, I genuinely dislike this guy, you know, and I knew he was going to come up there and try to act like a hard ass. So what I always try to do with my opponents, I try to stare into their soul, and you know, he looks like he's ready for the fight, you know, and I've given him, you know, nothing but respect, and you know, I believe that it's going to be a tough fight. And I believe that that's going to be the big difference maker in this fight. He thinks that it's going to be easy. He thinks he's going to have, you know, a walk in the park. And I'm not an easy fight for nobody. And I'm ready to go out there Sunday and prove that to him.
It's usually you doing the talking, not just like at the media days, but in the cage as well. Were you surprised that he said the first words then? And I'm not going to repeat what he said because they were explicit.
Yeah, man. The way I've always been is, you know, I do my talking inside the cage. You know, there's no need in being a douchebag out here and, you know, being disrespectful. You know, I give my opponents, you know, the utmost respect. I understand that, you know, they've trained just as hard as I have. They've worked just as hard as I have to get here. You know, so I respect them out here. Whenever we get inside that cage, it's a different ball game. You know, that's where I do my talking. There, that's the only time that I need to talk. That's the only time that it matters. Out here, all the talking really does you nothing. But inside that cage, you know, if I get in there and I start having fun, I'm going to start running my mouth. You know, if I see the least little bit of fear in his eyes, then I'm going to start talking. You know, and that's just kind of how I am. You know.
Is the aim with this fight building back a win streak to get to the upper tier of the division once again?
You know, of course, I wanna get back to, you know, the top 15, top 10, stuff like that. But right now, the aim with this fight is beating Makwan Amirkhani, and you know, making him learn some respect. You know, I think that you know, he thinks it's going to be an easy fight, and you know, I just want to prove to him that I'm not an easy fight for anyone. You know, I want to go out here and I want to hurt this guy. You know, that's the main objective right now, is to go hurt Makwan Amirkhani.
He came in today turning up in a nice fresh suit. You've just come out chilling out. Do you see yourself as a fighter's fighter more than he seems like he's going down the businessman sort of route?
I feel like, you know, he's got that pretty face, and you know, he's more of trying to make money. I don't give a shit about money. You know, I've been broke my whole life, and you know, after this career, if I'm still broke, that's no big deal. You know, I'm perfectly fine with that. You know, the way I look at it, I come out here to fight. I'm doing this for me. You know, I'm not doing it for anyone else. And I believe that's the difference. I think he's trying to do this for everyone else. He's trying to put on the appearance. He likes the idea of being a fighter. Me, I like to fight just to fight. Fighting is fun for me. I don't think, you know, when we get in that cage, I don't think he's going to be having any fun. I'm going to be having fun.
He's been out of competition for a while now, and he did mention on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour that it was tough for him after that loss, that he kind of had to admit to himself that his striking wasn't up to the calibre that he wanted it to be. Do you think that that's an area that you'll look to exploit immediately once you get in the cage?
You know, he's been talking about how he's worked on his boxing a lot. So, you know, I believe that his stand-up's going to be better than it was, of course. But, you know, my stand-up's better than it was as well. You know, I've worked a lot, you know, also. But, you know, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to, you know, be ferocious. I'm going to be aggressive and relentless the whole time. I'm going to stay in his face. And, you know, no matter what happens, I'm going to go out here and put my heart on the line. But, you know, I believe that, you know, a guy that breaks down mentally after one loss, then, you know, I don't think that, you know, I don't think that he's going to be in the right place. You know, he's going to be thinking too much about losing and not enough about winning. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. You understand? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's the main thing. He's going to be so worried about losing the fight that, you know, he's going to get caught up in, you know, doing dumb shit, you know, trying not to lose. I'm not going to be trying not to lose. I don't give a damn if I lose. I'm going to go out here, I'm going to fight to win, and not going to play anything safe, just going to go out here and try to hurt this guy.
Do you really value the lessons learned in a loss? Because in MMA, you're never going to get a Floyd Mayweather. You're never going to get someone who goes undefeated their whole career. A loss is inevitable, considering how dangerous the sport is, how many different variables there are. Do you feel like losses are learning experiences?
Yeah, I've always heard, either you win or you learn. And, I try to make sure that win or lose, I learn something from every fight. I go back after every fight. I study the fight over and over and over and over, and I watch what I did wrong. I watch what I did right. I watch, the things that I could do better, and I try to make sure that I make those improvements every fight. My last 2 fights, of course, they didn't go my way, so I didn't get to showcase some of the things that I've worked on, some of the things that I've learned, and I'm excited to go out here and do that Sunday.
You are one of the most opinionated guys on the roster. I just want to know what your thoughts on not the direction the UFC is heading, but some certain decisions, such as CM Punk being included on the 225 main card, and sort of entertaining the idea that Floyd Mayweather could fight McGregor in the Octagon. What are your thoughts of these guys who haven't proved themselves in the MMA world getting these big opportunities?
Honestly, I think that it's all stupid. It's all a crock of shit because I had to work 10 years for this. It took me 10 years to make it to the UFC, and these guys that just because they have a big name outside of the UFC, they just get to go right in and fight big fights, and they're getting paid triple, quadruple what I get paid. I think that it's kind of disrespectful to not only me but a lot of the other fighters, and I know that it's all about money. Everybody wants to put on the fights that make the most money, and I understand that. That's what the whole world revolves around, is money. And I wish that it wasn't like that. I wish that it was more of like the ranking system right now. Of course, I would love to be in the top 15, but who gives a shit about the top 15? If the number 1 guy starts talking shit to me, and I start talking shit back, and it gets a little bit of excitement going, then I could be fighting for the belt tomorrow. So you never know. So I just kind of have no respect for the system, the way that it works. And hopefully I'll be able to make my mark. Even in the mix of all the bullshit. My main goal in this career is to come out a legend. I want to be one of those guys that get remembered, and that's what I'm going to fight for.
Do you feel like the key to success for you is fighting as often as possible in terms of a 12-month cycle?
Yeah, I'm always at my best when I'm active. Whenever I fight more often, the more often I fight, the more I stay in the gym. I'm one of those guys that I have 3 kids at home. I have a wife at home. When I don't have a fight booked, I enjoy my time at home, and I tend to slack off from training. So as long as I can keep fights rolling in, I'm going to stay in the gym. I'm not going to slack. So as soon as this fight's over, if I get my hand raised, I'm going to ask for a fight in July. And then, if I win that one, I ask for one in September, one in December. I fought 4 times last year. The goal is to fight 4 times this year. I got a late start. This year. They're not letting me fight until May. Normally, like last year, I fought in January and then, kept it going. So, after this fight, if I get my hand raised, I'm going to, get on Sean Shelby's ass, tell him to get me back in there as quick as possible, and hopefully that'll happen.
Is there anyone that you have in mind for a next opponent?
I really don't care. I would love to fight Gabriel Benitez again, but, I know that's not going to happen for my next fight. But, I'll take anyone. Anyone that they want to give me. I would love, just a nice, aggressive fighter, someone who's going to get in there and fight with me. I don't want anything easy.
Okay, well, I'm really excited for your fight on Sunday night. One of my picks for fight of the night, so I'll let you enjoy the rest of the day.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.